Just 24 hours after President Obama's major announcement on reducing gun violence, the gun control debate is now front and center in Washington, ready to widen the divide between the Democrats and Republicans. And the president's proposals include universal background checks, restoring a ban on military-style assault weapons, limiting magazines to 10 rounds, and additional tools for law enforcement, as well as improving mental health services. Joining me now, Congressman Adam Schiff, a Democrat from California. Sir, it's great to have you here, and as we have been covering, there is this strong, real pushback from the right and even certain Democrats about this issue. Why do you think that there has been such a strong and visceral response?
Well, it's certainly been a strong response from both sides. Many very frustrated gun control and gun safety advocates have long bridled under the fact that we haven't been able to do anything, that it's been more than a decade since we've really made any progress on this issue. At the same time, you have lawmakers who are very beholden to the gun industry, or they have very active gun groups in their districts that they're afraid to cross, and it makes it a tough issue. But I do think this is the time, and I think we're already seeing some of these suburban Republicans being affected by what they're hearing from their constituents, who are now starting to support gun safety legislation that they haven't supported before. So it looks most promising on the universal background checks, but I think we have a shot, a real shot on both the ammunition clips, the extended ammunition clips, and the assault weapons ban, as well as strengthening the laws that go after gun traffickers. I introduced a bill 2 years ago to try to crack down on straw purchasers. We weren't able to move that at all, but in this climate, I think we can move that legislation. So it's going to be tough. These are difficult issues for many members, but I think that the time is right, and I'm optimistic.
All right, optimistic is good. Being optimistic in the 113th is nice, but we know what has existed there previously. And Representative Goodlatte, who was overseeing the Judiciary Committee that oversight of gun regulations, said last month that there is no appetite for this, and John Boehner has said that House committees will review these proposals. The president admitted that he knows it's really going to be a tough sell. Do you think this is just lip service from the right that we're getting, that okay, that the American people are hearing that they're going to take a look at this, but they don't really mean it?
Well, certainly there are some in the GOP who are giving this lip service, and they just want the thing to die down and go away quietly, and they figure the more they can stall, the better their chances. But there are others who aren't going to step forward. There are moderate GOP members or suburban GOP members who aren't going to volunteer for this. They're not going to co-sponsor an assault weapon ban or a bill to provide universal background checks. But if they are forced to actually vote on it, they will do the right thing. They will hear from their constituents. Frankly, they'd much rather not have to vote on this. And so it would be fine for them if things got delayed and put off indefinitely. But if the president is successful, and I think he's got a real chance here, at doing what he does best, and that is going out to the country, over the heads of Congress, persuading them to reach out to their members of Congress, I think that these moderate GOP members and wavering Democratic members can be kept in line, and we can pass some of these very important measures.
Yeah, as you point out, the president is looking more to get a caucus across the country as opposed to that of colleagues like yourself on Capitol Hill. And I just want to play what the president said yesterday about lawmakers and their need to be held accountable to the constituents for any type of interest groups that they are currently beholden to. Take a listen.
What's more important? Doing whatever it takes to get a A grade from the gun lobby that funds their campaigns, or giving parents some peace of mind when they drop their child off for first grade?
All right, so we all know that we're not going to be getting money out of politics anytime soon, and the NRA certainly has a strong invested hold in certain elected leaders on Capitol Hill. But do you think that there are some elected officials like yourself, been maybe a little more quiet on this issue, secretly want to do something to work to get something passed through the House?
You know, I think there are many legislators who haven't been active on these issues, but are becoming engaged. They're hearing from their constituents. They want to be engaged in this. I wish, frankly, the entire House could have been at the event with the president yesterday, as I was, just to see some of the families that have been affected by gun violence, some of the parents of those lost in Newtown, some of those who survived the shooting in Virginia Tech. It's a group that these are the last this is the last audience anyone would ever want to be a part of, and that is an audience made up of those that have lost loved ones. But to be in the room with them, the power of the President's words is all the more apparent. How can you look at these families and be content with sitting on the sidelines and doing nothing? So I think there are legislators that are going to step forward and who have been supportive but are going to become much more active and outspoken on this, and others who have been opponents who are going to now reassess and already are their views, and I think come forward and be supportive. But Thomas, you're absolutely right. This is going to be really tough. And I'm sure it's going to be the best fundraising quarter ever for the NRA. But we are seeing now a group of organizations mobilizing in support of gun safety legislation to counter the impact of the NRA. And we've never really had that effective a counterbalance as I think is being formed right now.
Congressman Adam Schiff, sir, great to have you on this morning. Thank you.
Thanks, Thomas.
All right, we're keeping a very close